I think there are a couple of messages. I think the first is clearly that as women, we should ask for what we want. What's the worst that can happen? Someone's going to say no, but certainly make visible and ask for what we want. And along with that is sort of make visible our accomplishments, obviously in our own unique way and style. I would also say that women need to exercise leadership. Leadership is not something that's positional. It really is inherent, and it doesn't matter where you are in the hierarchy. But women need to exercise leadership, and what that means is access networks internally as well as externally, make sure that the networks are broad, so they're not just gender networks or women-specific networks. They include men. Be a connector. It also means, as a leader, to know when to ask for help. I don't think that's a sign of weakness, but it's a sign of self-awareness. So ask for help when you need it. Seek out mentors. I think that men are often very good at seeking multiple mentors. I think as women, sometimes we see that as a deficit, but I think seeking out mentors is absolutely critical for one's career success. And engage in what you're doing and demonstrate leadership. Be a change agent, be a visionary, and above all, as I said, ask for what you want. I think that this is our century. So we've come a very long ways, and I think this is, for us, this is an opportunity for us to seize. But however, having said that, I do believe that many workplaces are still made by and for men, and as such, they advantage men and disadvantage women. I think there are several barriers that exist. Many of these are barriers such as lack of awareness, which includes stereotyping of what women can and cannot do. It includes women not having access to those unwritten rules of success in an organization, and that can be addressed through mentors. Barriers include lack of access to networks, and women need to be more deliberate about accessing those networks. So I think while we've come a very long ways, and this is our century, I would suggest that there are barriers that exist in workplaces that we need to sort of deliberately work with men who are still the decision makers, a majority of the decision makers, to mitigate. I think, there are multiple opportunities available for women as, coming into this new century. I have two daughters, and they're both, one is graduating from college and the other one is working. And I think for them, the world is their oyster, and they are going out in the workplace knowing that they can do anything that they want. The issue is really, are the workplace is ready to receive women who believe that they can do anything they want. And it's our job to help to educate those men and women in the workplaces and to remove any barriers so that women can achieve their fullest potential, because that's what it's about. It's about talent. It's about everyone achieving their fullest potential, men or women. I'm the Global Chief Diversity Officer at Sodexo. So my job really is about creating inclusive cultures in the workplace that work for everyone, so everyone can succeed. And of course, that includes 50% of our workforce, which is women. So we've done a variety of things. On a personal level, I mentor several women, both within and outside of Sodexo. We share my experiences and my lessons learned. On a professional level within Sodexo, we have many different initiatives, including awareness training for men and women, skills training for women. We have women's networks that engage in professional development for women, and these networks are actually open for everyone, so men and women can join, and they actually do and learn from each other. We also have a very robust mentoring initiative at Sodexo, both formal as well as informal, and we oversample women in that mentoring initiative as mentees. And what we find is that both men and women learn from that experience. And then we have a very robust scorecard where we track representation, because at the end of the day, we want to change behaviors through exposure and awareness and skills and mentoring. But we also want to get to those outcomes, which are to ensure that we are representative at all levels in our organization. So it's both personal and professional, my commitment. This is my first time at the JUMP Forum. And what I always say is that this is not an either or thing. I think there needs to be opportunities for women to come together and to bond and to share their challenges and to share their successes and to get support from each other. It's also important for men to be part of it. So it really isn't an either or kind of situation. So I think it's important for men to be involved, to be exposed to what some of the issues are and what some of the challenges are, because let's face it, men still are some of the key decision makers in our organization. So unless we have men having that epiphany and realizing that it's important and having those aha moments that say to them that, look, I've got to do something to change the situation, we're not going to get the change. So it needs to be a partnership between men and women. But I do think that there's a time and place for forums with women, and there's a time and place for forums for both men and women. So it's not an either or. And sort of, as I said before, each one of us needs multiple mentors. As a woman, I may need a woman as a mentor for some situations, to kind of, women in my situation who may have children, who I can talk with about issues of work-life balance. There are other situations where I may need a male mentor who can sort of share with me what some of the secrets of his success are, what some of the unwritten rules in the organization are. So it's not an either or thing, it's a both and. We need to have aspirational targets, because without those aspirational targets, we're not going to make any progress. I think what we need to do is to ensure that we cast the net wide to get the most gender balanced talent pool possible, take our time to do that. At the end of the day, we have to select the best qualified talent, best qualified person, whether it's a man or a woman. But if we put our focus on casting the net wide, getting that range of talent, I can assure you that we'd be hiring more women. We don't spend the time doing that, so we don't get strong talent in the pool. But having said that, I think we need the aspirational goals. We need to cast the net wide. I would also say that we need to change the mindset of those that are making hiring, placement, promotion decisions. So I say there's no easy fix, because I think all these three things have to happen in concert with each other to really get true gender balance at all levels in organizations.